Hi there, I wanted to talk to you in this vlog about the writing projects that I have planned for 2022, which I'm very excited about. So the first one is that I'm going to be doing the third book in my series. It's a children's fantasy adventure series for middle grade readers, which is ages like 9 through 12-ish. And the third book is called The Cursed Ruins. I already have the first two books out, The Land in the Woods and The Forgotten Scroll. And so basically the first book was about them like encountering the world and what they found there and kind of going on this spiritual journey of sorts to meet the king and discovering things about themselves and overcoming some of their fears or insecurities or anger, any problems like that. And then the second book was really around this, finding this ancient scroll that had been stolen, and it's revealed at the end who it was stolen by. Children have to kind of ally themselves with some people, some of the characters who were actually the villains in the first book. And so there's a lot of tension there. And then the children are, not so much trying to figure out how to get along with each other, but they're trying to figure out how to, trust those who are in charge and also kind of grow into their own abilities and find this scroll that's going to bring light back to the land because it's been overtaken by this darkness. And so the third book, The Cursed Ruins, is about this curse. So they come back to the land, and it's after the scroll has already been read and there has been light in the land, but there's just become more of a contrast between the dark areas and the light areas. And part of that is that the darker areas are cursed. That becomes a major plot point, that they want to help lift this curse somehow. And meanwhile, there's this evil sorcerer, the one who cursed the land, and he is trying to trick them with his illusion. Along the way, what's happened in the time that we were away. So they're kind of similar in some ways to the Narnia series in that the children are discovering this other world and that they're learning these lessons about themselves, and they're learning these lessons about following the king and following Prince. And those are supposed to represent Christian characters of God and Jesus. And then Pneumatos is the Holy Spirit, and he's another character who helps them. And so it's kind of like partly allegory, but also just a fun story as well, a fun adventure story. And so the second project that I'm going to be working on is my modern Jane Austen novel, which I did this for NaNoWriMo in 2020. And I think I got like 35,000 words into it or something like that, maybe a little bit further than that. And I just stopped because I was just getting too tired out because I was doing that with all the work I was doing for clients because I'm a freelance writer. And I really want to return to it. It's about these four sisters, and basically they're living in the modern era, but they have these kind of Jane Austen-like ideas about finding their spouse, finding the right guy, older Victorian values. And so like they stand out from their generation in that sense. Like they're different kinds of Christians, I would say. So like one sister is going to be more like, oh yeah, I'm a Christian, but like she kind of does what she wants. She lives like a more wild lifestyle. And then there's one who's like really prim and proper, kind of like almost like puritanical and very legalistic. And then there are two that are kind of in between. There's one that's a little bit more balanced, but she's a little bit of a hothead. And then there's one who's like deeply thoughtful, Christine, but she is a little too meek, and she doesn't stand up for herself or what she believes in sometimes. So that becomes an issue at different points in the novel. There's a character that's kind of like Willoughby. There's a character that's kind of like Darcy. There's a character that's kind of like Bingley. I just kind of threw together like a bunch of different types of characters from Jane Austen novels because I really enjoyed reading those growing up when I was a young adult, and I just thought it would be fun to explore that in a modern setting. And I also grew up with 7 sisters, so I have plenty of material to draw on from there. And then my third project is I really want to be working more on my nonfiction books. I have one on forgiveness that, I've started researching, and I've started writing little bits here and there, but I really want to dig deeper into those, these things that are very important to me to talk about and to help other people think about, and to offer some spiritual guidance and wisdom, and some, insert some Bible passages there that I found helpful in thinking about these things. Fourthly, I'm gonna just continue doing my freelance writing. That has been going exceptionally well. I'm kind of phasing out of that right now. And to be honest, I'm phasing out of all writing for the next however many weeks, because right now I'm approaching 37 weeks pregnant, and I am gonna have the baby soon, and I'm just anticipating I'm probably not gonna get much writing done right before having the baby and then right after. But I am excited to, continue with all these writing projects, and I'll be giving updates on this channel on how those things are going. So if you're interested in hearing more about my personal writing projects, or if you want to hear more about publishing, about writing tips, then please like and subscribe to my channel. Feel free to leave a comment below. Let me know what kinds of books you're working on. I'd be interested to hear that from you.